You know how the witches were born? The rumors, the lies. Well, it came from men who had power, ignorant, blind, stupid power given by those sheep who had no minds. And basically, they persecuted certain women because they were told no. And they always picked certain women and blamed them for everything. They wanted a scapegoat for their misdeeds. How plagues broke out was because of filth and disgust. And if you were going to sit there and blame a woman for disease and pestilence, then that comes from a woman that easily spreads her legs for an asshole for those men and does their bidding. The minute a woman puts herself underneath a man is the minute that ignorance and disease and rot is born. Because no woman should be under a man's thumb or foot, nor should they be educated by them or keep their company, honestly. That's just the truth of it. And it took me a while to discover that. If it's not love, in which I have yet to meet a man that has any love for a woman, true love. Now, maybe obsession or jealousy, or think that that woman owes him something because he might provide something for her. But no love is in men's hearts at all. They are demons underneath it all. And those women, females that go along with them, are just their counterparts. What a true witch is, a man would never recognize her because a true witch uses charms. You're so funny. She bears a false image. That means she puts makeup on. She changes her appearance. Wigs, corsets. She wears brands, which is what is of clothes, jewelry, brands, like, and brand names. That's brands. She wears her brands. That's what a witch is. She messes with potions and elixirs to mess with the minds of men, which is alcohol, drugs. That's what all that's all about. And the women that sit there and the true, those of parts of Christ always use herbs and things like that to heal the body. But a witch doesn't heal. She doesn't do anything good. You can find, you would always find her in the local saloons. You would find her in the temples. She'd always sit there and tickle a man's ear to draw him in so she would get that payday. Those women that were out in nature, of the land, the true daughters of the mother, weren't a part of all that. They didn't want a part of that. They stayed to themselves out in the wilderness, tending to animals. They stayed away from so-called polite society. There's nothing fucking polite about the societies of men. And I know what you do behind closed doors. A curse is brought to the land by the doings of men and the women that follow suit. And sexual behaviors, fornication, adultery, idolatry, which is IDOL, idolatry, the worshiping and praising of other people's names, nastiness, trash, overbreeding, which is overpopulation, war. All these brings pestilence and disease, greed, corruption, manipulation, scammers and spammers. Right now is the worst that this world has been at in a very long time, but it always goes in cycles. Like all those runes, those ancient runes that you sent, and you're like, what happened to their population? I know what happened to their population. Disease hit, war hit, pestilence hit, all kinds of devastation hit. And it will do it again. Because man reaps what they sow. And when they sow nothing good, of course they can sit there and dress dress a certain way, like in their fineries, and talk in their well-educated voices, but they're ignorant in all they do. There is no wisdom to them. Sure, they can repeat words out of a book and pass it along like the stupid little sheep they are. Bah. It is a waste of time to crucify oneself to save the wretched. There's no point in saving man at all. And, I used to run after others and try to save them. Not anymore. It's not that I don't love others or care about others. It's just I'm not here to save or get crucified along in the process or have rocks humped at me and called names. I've been called a witch because I see things and hear things that others don't. I've been called a lot of names. All those hunkin' rocks that ain't anything good. They're always hating on others. Always calling them names or, accusing them of things when they ain't nothing good. So I say to those out there, if you're the black sheep of your family or the black sheep of society and others look down on you, so fucking what? Because they're going to fall in self-righteousness. They're going to fall. I don't sit there and celebrate others' demise. However, I'm not going to pity assholes. And that's what I got to say. Spirits always ask about witches and what a witch is. I was like, a witch, true witch, is a woman or a man that puts on a false facade and goes against their heart and all that they know is right to build themselves up in this world. That's what a witch or a warlock is. They create elixirs for profit. That's what a witch or warlock is. And the churches of man are the biggest breeders of witches and warlocks. And they call them saints. There ain't nothing saintly about those that go about in religion. And that's what I sit there and say to all you out there. Don't put any members of the church above you or look to them to guide you. You don't want them guiding you. Because all they are is wolves in sheep's clothing, putting on a show and tickling the ear and sending a false message out there to gain in profit or to gain in popularity, prestige.